Welcome to I Am Kedeja Go with Purpose, the podcast that highlights the resilience, love, and unwavering courage found in life's most challenging moments. I'm your host, and today we delve into the incredible story of Lisa Gray, a devoted mother of 3 daughters whose journey has been marked by strength, grace, loss, and a profound determination. Lisa's life took a heartbreaking turn when her youngest daughter, Yana, was diagnosed with colon cancer. We will speak about Yana's life and how through the trials, tears, and triumphs, their story became one of hope, advocacy, and a testament to the power of family. Join us as we explore Lisa's journey of raising 3 daughters, the lessons learned through Yana's battle with cancer, and how their unshakable bond continues to inspire countless others facing similar challenges. This is a story of resilience, love, and finding light even in the darkest times. This is dedicated to Yana.
Because my grades are coming in.
Girl.
It's a lot. And I'm just like, you know what? because I usually wear braids a lot. And so I was just like, let me just do this real quick and let my hair rest from the braid situation, and then order the hair color I want, because I'm going to go really grayish black. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to my regular color.
Correct.
And just deal with it. But I want to try something different.
Yeah, do it.
It's like, I was like, because there's a girl I follow here on Facebook, and she wears gray, like it's so pretty on her. I'm like, I don't know if I could rock that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a little bit in between the grayish black. We'll see. And my mom, up until she was 75, either she wore a wig or she dyed her hair.
Oh, really?
She didn't want to accept it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting gray in more places than I had before, so we'll see.
You telling me? I understand. Yeah. I accept it. I'm going to embrace this part. You look so pretty.
No, thank you.
You always look pretty. You always look pretty to me. Ever since I met you when we worked at Christus, when I worked there, I was like, she's so pretty, and you have such kind eyes.
Do I? Girl,
yeah.
Crazy sometimes looking at my eyes speak. So if I'm bothered, my eyes are gonna tell the whole story.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes people, and am I yelling? Let me stop yelling. Sometimes people will, what we think people see of us is totally different. The perception.
Yeah, you're right.
So I had to really walk through that process with me, because I always thought people thought I was like mean and angry and all these things.
I deal with that too. I deal with the piece where people think that I'm stuck up, mean, or I'm not. I'm not even, when my face look a certain way, I'm not even thinking of that person. There's something else going on, and I'm one of the most childish people. So I never thought that of you. I always thought, you came through with yellow heels and you was all dressed and all. I never thought you were mean. I never got that perception from you.
Good. I'm glad. But yeah, no, like I said, I had to learn that's maybe for somebody might have told me that, and then I just took that on for everybody.
Okay.
Huh. So but my facial expressions, like, I can't hide if something's bothering me.
Either.
It's not gonna happen. But for you, I was always like, she's so sweet, she's so kind, she about her business.
Girl, my team be telling me, Miss Lisa, fix your face.
That's work. So how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You good? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You feeling all right?
I'm good.
Okay. That's me. Like, okay. Yeah. How was church? Were you able to make it to church today?
No, I didn't go to church today because the other day I kept saying, are my brakes making a noise? And definitely, I have my music up so loud all the time till maybe I've been ignoring. So I haven't heard it. And so the other day I was like, my brakes were grinding. So I have a mobile mechanic a lady referred me to. I talked to him, able to come yesterday, but he can't come till tomorrow. So I didn't go to church. I stayed.
Send me that number, because I didn't know they had mobile mechanics.
Yeah, they do. I've never dealt with one, but yeah, they do. That's really cool. popular during COVID.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So this podcast is I Am Kedeja, Go Out with Purpose. And what I like to talk to people about is their experiences through life, their healing experiences, how they made it through some trials, tribulations. Also, how they continue after they've not necessarily completely healed, but how have they progressed. And your daughter, Yana, is that how you say her name?
Yes.
I always see you post about her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your story in the sense of the love. It was just the love and the
Yeah.
care and the protection that you have over her. Because not
Yeah.
everybody will protect a person's legacy when they leave this earth.
Yeah. Right.
And I respect that. And then I saw you have how many daughters?
I have 3. Well, yeah, but I have 2 daughters, two more.
So I was like, do you have any sons?
No.
So that's when I was like, okay, I don't think she has any sons. How is she working through that process of having daughters? Because I know I drove my mom crazy, me and my sister. I like till this day, I know my sister drive my mom crazy because they live together. My mom's 81, and then after my dad passed, she moved in with my sister. So I know she's driving my mom crazy. But my mom had boys too, so she had the balance. But to be a mother and have all that feminine energy, how is that? How is that? And how, especially from start, from finish, when they're little girls, and then, how was that?
I can honestly say that some of the things that I hear parents deal with their daughters, I never dealt with, like the slamming of the doors, the rolling of the neck, and I didn't, and I maybe because I was strict in a sense, I didn't mind popping behind, even though I never really had to. They were good kids. Now I did. There were times, but it wasn't something that I always had to do, right? So I actually raised good girls. Of course, I don't know what all happened behind my back, Stacy. No tell. Uh, I was a teenager. I grew up, and there are things that my mom went to her grave probably didn't know that I was doing. So, things when Yana passed away that I found out that she did, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? So, but no, really, I didn't really deal with the sassiness, the smart mouth. They respected the curfew, except for one time Tanya didn't. But they were really cool. They were really cool girls. I had cool girls.
Okay, good. Do you guys hang out now and do like mother-daughter things, or are they more just like in their own world, in their own, life now?
It's a good combination of both. It's
Good.
a good combination of both. Of course, I have grandkids now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, my oldest grandson will be 20 next month. My granddaughter is, oh Lord, how old is he?
Wait, did you say 20?
Yes, he'll be 20 next month.
Did you?
Yes, he'll be 20. I had my first 18, and she had her first child at 18.
Okay. Still though, I'm not gonna do the calculation, but you don't look like you got a 20-year-old for a grandson.
I
20-year-old daughter, yes, but
no, I feel like it, trust me. But I have the 3 grandkids. My granddaughter's a sophomore who I just found out is going on a date with a boy today to the movies. I didn't know anything about that until my grandson told me. So my daughters are in trouble. Anyway, and then I have my youngest grandson who's 8.
when they're 8, just in general, kids are 8, they're so fun to me.
Your son what?
My son was so fun. Me and him were just acting up, having so much fun, doing taekwondo and rolling around and playing video games. It was just like, then he got a teenager and didn't want no hugs, so.
Hey. Yeah, Braylon still kiss me on my lips to this day right now. But the others, no, it's the side hug and kiss on cheek. And my oldest grandson don't even let us kiss him anymore. Yeah.
Really?
I think
it'll change. I think as he gets older, no, seriously, because my son was like that for a minute when he was 20, 21. Now it's like, Mom, give me a hug. Mom, here. And I'm like,
he lets us hug him, but since he was a junior in high school, we couldn't kiss him anymore. So trying to kiss him, I have to grab him and try to force him to kiss his cheek. So yeah.
You know, my son kissed me on my head, kissed me on my forehead. He kisses my mom, my sister. He's like, he used to not like, he used like, even the hugs, he would do side hugs and stuff. But as he's gotten older, I think there is a transition for him, because he'll be 30 this year. So I think there was a transition for him where he was like, I think, and especially after my dad passed, a couple of years ago, I think he was like, you know what? Let me love on you guys.
Yeah.
I don't have to,
Yeah.
So, but he might get there a little bit later on. You guys will see. Or maybe he might be one of those people who are like me, who are just like, don't touch me. This is my space. I hug you. And then
I hope not.
Yeah. So what's the, like, with having daughters, what's the rewarding part of having daughters for you?
Actually, honestly, they are my best friends. And that's the God's honest truth. Coming up, people say, your children, you shouldn't be friends with your children, which I wasn't. I was a mother. I was honestly a mother. But because I had children so young, so whenever Tanya's 18, I'm just 36. And so as teenagers, I'm still pretty young. And we just developed that bond, that closeness that was like, they are actually really my friends. The most rewarding piece is knowing that not only are they my daughters, not only did they come from my womb, but they are my friends. And they're very protective of me. I know that I have, they say mothers are she bears.
Yeah.
She bears and daughters. So I have protectors. They are always willing to go to bat for me.
That is so good. Is there any moments in your life where you think back and you're like, with them being protective over you, that you saw that you were like, okay, yeah, they really are for me? Was there like a moment?
There have been several moments.
So that's good. That's good, because sometimes there are children out there that won't protect their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't feel like they can trust their kid. The parents might feel like, oh, I don't think they have my back 100%. So that's good that you have it. And that, because like I said, there are instances where there have been, not for me, but I've had friends where their kids wouldn't speak up for them. They just sat there and just watch stuff happen. These are grown adults, and you're like, you didn't say anything. You didn't even say, hey, that's my parent. Don't do that. So that's good that you guys have that relationship.
Yeah. But Stacey, at the end of the day, I never want them to be in a position to where they have to protect me. You know what I'm saying? Especially like that situation it could have gone a different way. Right. And at that time, I think my youngest was probably fresh out of high school. So they were still, young adults. So I just, hope that they're never put in that position, because I know that they won't leave no stones unturned, behind their mama. So.
Mm-hmm. So what are the ages and names of your daughters? So I know there's Tanya, Yana. So.
Okay, so now you're going to have me calculating. So my oldest daughter, girl, I don't know their ages by heart. So my oldest daughter, LaTanya, she was born in 1986. So this year she will be, 30?
Is she
May 3rd. I don't know what she is.
Taurus.
So she'll be 39, and she's the one with the 3 kids. She's the principal in Duncanville. My middle daughter is Tiffany. She just turned, give me a minute, she just turned 36 in December, after Christmas. She's the one, she works with me now. She works.
Okay, I saw her. Okay.
And so she's married, and she have no kids right now, but we have prayed over her womb, and that's what we're believing for, is that she's able to, have children. So put that in the atmosphere. And then my baby girl, even though she passed away when she was 22, this year she would be 34. She was born March 2nd, the day before my birthday. So she would have been here.
Okay, that's beautiful. So Yana,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna ask. Let me know if you like. No, I can't talk about that.
Yana all day. So I can talk about my baby all day.
Okay, so just Yana passed away when she was 22, right? You said she's 22. She had stomach cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
No, she had stage 4 colon cancer that had
colon cancer. Okay, my mom has stage 4 colon cancer as well.
Right now.
No, she had it when I was 16. It was I'm 50, so about 34 years ago. And she went through chemotherapy. She had 17 inches cut. She
Mm-hmm.
went through all that. Blessed that she survived through that.
Right, right.
But I understand the process of what they have to go through is very painful.
Oh yeah.
So how describe Yana?
Oh my gosh, she was my different child out of all of my girls, like for real. So Tanya and Tiffany, they were really, really girly. Like, they were cheerleaders, they were in drill team, all of them tried to play some sports. Yana was the one you'd be at the pep rally because again, my girls were cheerleaders and drill teams, so they always performed. And you hear this little loud crew and you look up and it's Yana and her crew, because they back there just loud. She was just like the one that was, hey, she gonna pump it up. She she wasn't a tomboy, but she loved wearing sweatpants, t-shirts. She liked being chill. I want to say it was probably college, during her college year. She went to college for a little bit and then they moved here to Dallas and started kind of going out. They would go to the clubs and she'd wear her heels and stuff. That's when she kind of really became more girly, dressing up and looking all cute. But she was carefree. Yana, she was my daughter that she didn't mind listening to some blues, listening to jazz. She was just different from all of my girls. The girls said that she had an attitude. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't deal with the attitude. Y'all dealt with it because you're not going to fight in front of me. If I know that you're fighting, we're going to do some reconciliation type stuff. But Yana was just my different child.
Yeah.
We would go, like a lot of times we would go out of town, like to my sister's for the weekend, or we would even go to Oklahoma for the weekend. Yana just didn't like traveling. She didn't want to go. And sometimes I just wouldn't make her go. She would stay with family friends, or if her dad wasn't working for the weekend, she'd stay at her dad's, or she would go stay at she'd go stay at her sister's, so she was just different. She was chill. She was very chill. Yana was the one, this is what we called her too. Everybody's kids loved Yana. Like everybody's kids loved Yana. And I hate that we said it, but we used to always say, Yana's not going to have kids. She's going to be that lady that lived on the corner and all the kids would go to Miss Yana's house and say, yeah, let's go to Miss Yana's house. She got cookies. And, Yana loved to eat. She loved to cook. So we just kind of said that she would be that woman that all the neighborhood kids would like to go to her house. I said it because now I don't have a grandchild. But
Did she
yeah,
want kids?
you know what? I'm not sure if she wanted kids. She never talked about wanting kids. She was just that person that was chill with everybody else's kids.
She's just happy and content within herself.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah.
she talk a lot?
Oh yeah, Yana talked a lot. She talked a lot. She was, yeah, especially with her friends.
The life of the party?
Yeah. Oh, not only was she the life of the party, but if anything was gonna pop off, Yana was gonna be in the mix of it.
Was
Like
she?
that they would like go out up here and they say all it take was one person to kind of look at them funny and Yana be like, what you looking at? So she kind of had some mama in her,
She was feisty.
Yeah, she had my feistiness. Everybody kind of on the outside think Lisa's sweet. Some people think that, but don't get me riled up, right? Don't mess with me or mine, And that was Yana. She would go to bat for her family.
So your $3, Yana had your feistiness. What does Tiffany and Latanya have of yours?
Oh, goodness, let me think that Tiffany is more like her dad. Like he was, really chill, really reserved, really cool. I think Tiffany is more like that, but all three of them do have that. Don't push me because I'll come for you. But Yana and I were just quicker for you to see it. Tiffany is very chill, very laid back. If you push her too far, then that's when she's going to come for you. It's the same way. Now, I wish I had this part of Tanya, my oldest daughter, because she don't instantly befriend you. She feels you out. Like she has a very strong spirit of discernment. And I thought I had a very strong one, but she had a very strong. And even though all of my girls are very respectful, they will, even if they don't like you, they're not going to disrespect you.
Yeah.
Tanya, if she don't feel you out, she'll never ever really be your friend,
Right.
but she always treat you kind. But she's going to always keep that one eye open. Like, yeah, I'm watching you. Right.
I love that.
I do too. I do
I
too.
love, because I think because I'm really, like, the past 5 years, I've really tuned into my power of discernment and really listening to it, respecting it,
Yeah,
appreciating it, and letting it lead me more into more healthier relationships. And for me, like you said, I'm like, I'm gonna fill you out. I'm not gonna be disrespectful, but I know where to keep you at if it's not working out right. If I
exactly.
don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like a safe space, then you're gonna be put in a certain area, and I'm not gonna disrespect you, but you're not gonna be able to come as close to me as others would. And it's only because it's something that I'm feeling that's not good for me.
Exactly. You know, Stacy, I've always had a very strong spirit of discernment. Thank God. But sometimes you know how we can ignore it. But
Yes.
when Yana died, it was almost like, I think my favorite words when Yana died was, I don't care about losing anyone as long as I don't lose my children and my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay. And I think that's still part of that is still true for me. If someone decided today, Lisa, I don't want to talk to you. I'm good. I don't think this is a healthy friendship. I'd be like, okay. Simply
Yeah.
because I've lost the worst thing that I think for me, the
Yes.
worst I think someone can lose is somebody that came from their body, right?
Right.
I can't, someone walking away from me can't hurt me.
What can you do to me that hasn't already been done? I've gone through it.
So since losing Yana, I have been able to walk away from people that I never ever thought that I would. I mean, yeah, I she's given me strength that I never thought that I would have. And at the same time, people that I thought would never ever walk away from me that have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
Got peace with it.
Yeah.
That's a healing. That's a healing part of. Do you think that's a healing part of your journey? That after Yana passing, you were able to say, you know what? I had these relationships that weren't healthy, and I was holding on to them, or we were holding on to each other. But I've healed in certain areas of my life as far as grieve. Let me see how I grieve is different. Like, you've gone through something, you've grieved and you grieve so hard that now once something happens, it's just a different grieving process because you've felt that gutted pain.
Right. No, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel what you're saying. Yeah. All I can do is agree. I don't even have nothing else to add to that. All right.
Okay.
Agree because yes, once you feel that, like you say, that gutted pain,
Yeah.
it's almost like there's no other depth that you can go, except for me. If I was to lose another child or one of my grandkids, there's not a depth that I could go. Of course, it would hurt me. I've lost siblings and, family members, and that hurt, but nothing can affect me the way losing my child did. So therefore, a human being walking away from me, I used to want an explanation. Like if someone was mad at me, I used to be like,
Yeah.
what did I do? I mean, like, let's talk about this. Now, if someone's mad at me or don't want to talk to me, I don't need an explanation. I really don't. If that's what puts you at peace, be at peace.
Yeah.
I'm good with
I
that.
don't want to be the reason for your pain. So if there's something I'm doing, if you don't, even if it's nothing, if you just don't like me anymore, I'm okay. I wish you well. Because I used to be that kind of person that was like, I needed an explanation. What happened? What did I do? Sometimes things just don't work out.
You're
So
right.
I totally get it. In regards to Yana and her journey, how did you guys find out about her having colon cancer? Like, what was that? What was that whole like?
Well, it was really wild because, there were a couple of times that the girls said that they had went out, whatever, and that Yana threw up in the club. And I was like, she threw up. Yeah. So, you don't think much of it. And then in retrospect, Tiffany said when they were living in Abilene together that there were times Yana would get like sick, feel really kind of sick. And she was like, they just kind of chalk it up to, maybe a little flu or maybe a virus, nothing major because, everybody gets sick.
Yeah.
And so one particular day, I remember she had asked me for some antacid because she, was feeling kind of off. And so I put it on the counter and I told her, because we all lived in the same complex. So I said, come to the house and get it. I'll be at work. And, 3 days had passed by and she never came to get it. They all had keys to the house. So one day, I remember within that 3-day time frame, I was trying to reach out to her to see when she was going to come get it. And I couldn't reach her. So I called the girls. I was like, hey, y'all, where's Yana? Have y'all seen Yana? They said, oh, we're at Genghis Grill, but she's not feeling good. She's sitting in the car. So I was like, okay. So finally get a hold of her, and she's just not feeling good in her stomach, right? So I'm at work she ended up calling me, and I ended up telling her, Yana, you need to go to the ER. Just go get checked. You're insured. Go get checked. So I was at work, and Tiffany called me and said, hey, Mom, we're at the ER. I'm at the ER with Yana. I said, okay, well, just keep me updated, And she calls me back and she says, Mama, they said they found lesions. That's all I heard. I said, where are you at? Well, she'd already told me where they were at. I went and I was a supervisor at electric company. I went to my manager. I said, I got to go. I said, they found lesions on my daughter. I got to go. And I packed up and got to the hospital. And as I'm praying, I'm like, that's when she said they were talking about moving her either to Dallas or Fort Worth. I said, you tell them don't move my baby till I get there. And I got there, and that's when they explained to me they had found, the lesion, and they were going to have to, send her somewhere. And I said, do not send my baby to Dallas, because I just couldn't picture me there driving downtown Dallas. So they sent her to Fort Worth, and which was just nothing but God, because we had some amazing people in our life being there. And that's when we found out none of the symptoms, how with colon cancer, there's blood in your stool. There's just several signs of colon cancer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't have them. She didn't have blood in her stool. One thing we've always done is check our stool. Just
Right.
something, I taught them young. She didn't have blood in her stool. None of the symptoms of colon cancer, except for sometimes a little pain in her stomach. But she's always had very heavy monthlies every month, very heavy, clotty. Didn't know until later that that's also a sign. Yes, that's also a sign, because of so much blood and they don't know where it's going, right? So that would have been her only sign. But what happened was, I noticed she sent me a picture because they was getting dressed to go out. And I looked at the picture and I was like, Yana's really lost a lot of weight. Well, at this time, she was eating a lot of tilapia. She loved tilapia. So she did want to weight. Tilapia, everybody needs to put that in the trash, throw it away. Do not ever, ever eat tilapia again. But I remember putting a previous picture of her and taking that picture and putting it side by side and sending it back. Look how much weight you've lost. You look so good. Just being excited for her weight loss.
Yeah.
Stacy didn't even know, like Dr. Jean said, that cancer had to have been in her body for 2 to 3 years for her to be where she was at. She was at, she was already at stage 4. It had already had metastasized to her liver and her lungs. He said she had to have had cancer in her body for at least 2 to 3 years.
She was walking around just doing everything. She was enjoying herself, just being.
Yeah. So those little episodes of being sick.
Yeah.
Was just the cancer. Nobody knew. We didn't know.
Wow. When she found out and you were there, what was like your first initial emotion? Like, were you like, I gotta protect my baby? Like, what was it?
Well, before we knew that it was cancer, of course, I'm in immediate protect mode, because I know when they say lesions and all of that, I know what they're meaning, right? Of course, we had to find out if it was malignant or benign at that time,
Right.
And I was immediate protect mode. One thing, my daughter was 21 when we found out. She turned 20 March. We didn't leave her alone. Was grown, but my daughter was, if she was alone at any time, it may have been maybe a 30-minute time frame where we were waiting for someone to get to the hospital and someone to leave. Immediate protect mode. And then the day that we found out, as a mother, I'm being mindful of what, of course, I'm asking in front of her, because she's an adult. She can ask all the questions that she wants, right? I didn't care how it looked to anybody. I wasn't leaving my baby by herself.
Yeah. She stayed with, so did you see a change in her personality as she went through this? Or was she always just, I'm going to fight through, not fight, of course she's going to fight through it, but were there instances where you just saw her personality change and she came to look at it as, I might not make through this, or I'm going to make it through? Because you know how sometimes, because my sister had double breast cancer and my mom. So I have, in my family, and my aunt, in my family, I've dealt with this cancer so much, and our family is a family of faith, like prayer. When my mom prays,
Yeah.
that lady, old school prayer, you like, Mom, okay, I'm gonna pray. You believe you got faith? Faith of a mustard seed? Yes. When did you see any like moments of her saying, you know what, I'm okay. I know I'm not gonna see this, the next 10 years or whatever. I might not see you guys the next, I'm gonna move on in this life? Or was she more like, you know what, I'm gonna fight this until the last second?
Well, of course, I'm not a shameless plug, unashamed. So, we created a Facebook page called Yana's Healing Journey.
Okay.
So anybody ever want to read her story, you can. The upside to a phone is you can't open some of the posts that are closed, but if you're on a computer, it gives you little buttons that says see all posts, and you can
Okay.
see all, right? So
Okay.
anybody can go back and read the whole story from bottom up, right? And there was a time where I shared one of her posts. She said, yeah, the doctors gave me 6 months to a year, but watch when I beat this, So yeah, very hopeful. She didn't allow us to cry, so we couldn't cry in front of her, right? So, we all stayed hopeful. Toward the end, she never complained. When I tell you never complained, she always wanted to make sure everybody else was comfortable. Toward the end, one day, she had asked me to come lay in the bed with her, and I'm laying beside her, and she said, for the first time, she said, Mama, why God couldn't have given this to someone in jail, a rapist or a murderer? Why did he have to give it to me? And that broke me down. But like I told her, I don't know. I don't know why you received this, disease. I don't know why you got it and why they didn't. I couldn't explain it to her.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing with Yana was, baby, do you know where you're going? Well, my girls were raised in church, raised, to believe God. They knew their mama was a prayer, and so were they. So my biggest thing was, do you know where you're going? And several times we would have that conversation, right? And I remember the last time, Stacy, where she's in a lot of pain and it's toward the end. And I said, Yana, do you know? You know where you're going? You're secure where you're going? She was like, Mama, yes, stop asking me that. I didn't ask the journey, but she didn't really show, and not that it wasn't even signs of not having hope. It's just a realization of where she was. Like, even when they sent us home on hospice,
Yeah.
the palliative care team came into the room. She let me know that was the same day that her dad. So Yana has a different biological father, but the father that raised her is their dad that died right before, about a year and a half before she did. Said that dad came in the room after the palliative care team came in. So he was there. He was her protector too, right? So she saw him then, and she saw him another time. A couple of other times. She saw her angels. It was beautiful. I can now say it was beautiful. It was beautiful then, but just to watch her in that realm of passing. But no, Stacy, she never blurted out that she was accepting that she was about to die. My baby, she was at peace.
Yeah.
At peace. The things that transition that, I do want to say this. People say that we have angels, right?
Yes.
I was laying in bed with her one day, and my back was like to the wall, and she kind of looked over toward the wall, and she looked again, and then she looked behind her. She said, oh, there they are. So I knew the angels were back there. And she had wrote on a piece of paper, Mary, which is my mom's name.
Okay.
And my sister looked at me and she was like, Lisa, why did she write that? And I said, I don't know. I said, Yana, why did you write Mary? She said, I don't know. I knew for a fact her daddy, Randy, was one of her angels. And she said something about her brother. A lot of people know. I've spoken at a women's conference and shared my testimony. And some people don't know, but I had an abortion after my oldest daughter. I knew in my heart of hearts that was my son. And Yana said something to the effect about her brother. Oh, I know her brother was one of her angels too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Death is a hard thing to watch, but when somebody's dying in the Lord and you get to see them interact. She told me to tell her angels one time, Mama, please tell them to be quiet.
Oh.
So I had to go and quiet, So for those of us that know, somebody might say, oh, that's crazy. She wasn't interacting with angels, but she was. So yeah, Stacy, she was strong to the end.
Do you see remnants of her at times, or is there like a symbol of her that when you're doing something and you'll be like, oh, that's Yana? Because there are moments. So I'll give you an example. So anytime something big is about to happen in my life, or change or some transition, there's always, my dad was chocolate with a white beard and bald head, and he would wear a veteran's cap. He's a veteran. And so there have been moments for both me and my son, which is really weird. We have seen people who look just like my father. Just last year when I was going to Worlds in Las Vegas, I was getting on a plane, and people in knowing me, I don't like to fly. So I'm usually like a shot, let me relax. And so I'm in line, and there's this man talking, and from the back, he's chocolate and he has a hat on. And I'm standing there, I'm talking to this lady, and blah, blah, blah. And he turns around, and facial features of my dad, and he has a veteran's cap on, and then he walks off. Now, this has happened a couple of times in other instances. And I called my son and I said, I saw Grandpa. He's like, you saw another, and I'm like, so it's like, now I'm like, oh, those are angels. That's my dad.
Yeah.
Telling me.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're good. You're going to be all right.
Right.
Do you see those moments of Yana?
Yeah, I have. Okay, so my biggest.
Sorry for crying.
You're fine. For me, one of my biggest is when I hear the song "For Your Glory" by Tasha Cobbs. Simply because as she was passing that day, all day I just played that song over and over.
Okay.
So when I hear that is like another sign. And sometimes it just randomly will come on Spotify or Pandora. So when I hear that, that's one of mine. Also, she had a PT Cruiser when a cream color PT Cruiser. So for me, when I be like, hey, Puda, because I called her Puda. So I see Puda, but I will share one day, Stacy. She died December. I went back to work February. So it was somewhere after that. And I'm driving home from work, and there was this cream color PT Cruiser, and I'm staring, and bright skin. It's like, she has a mohawk. I followed this lady all the way to her home. Literally got behind that car and followed them. And they pulled up into their driveway. I drove really slow. And she was a bright skinned lady, had a mohawk, but she didn't look like my Yana. But it was just like, I was so overwhelmed, and that was a broken moment, though. It wasn't an exciting moment, but it was a broken moment. So yeah, I look for her in the little things. And then when I have, the occasional dream, or sometimes I can feel her hug, things like that. So
yeah, you're so strong. And I know I hate when people say that, but your strength through this is so, it's like, when you see somebody who's gone through what they've gone through and they haven't let the world let it just break them totally 100% down. Now I know you probably don't trust me. You're like, when you in the quiet moments when nobody's there,
yeah,
especially losing a child, there's a brightness about you even through that time and going forward, because I've watched your posts quietly. I watch your posts and stuff, and I'm like, that woman is so freaking amazing, because and your faith with your relationship with God through all that. I'm like, I would probably be in a hospital just like,
only the grace of God, because I will tell you, unashamed, there were times, I would get off work on a Friday. I may or may not get in the shower, get in the bed, get water, go use the bathroom, get water, go use the bathroom, get in the bed.
Yeah.
That's all I did the whole weekend. Wouldn't eat. I would tell, one of the things I was big on, I was dating at the time, I would tell my boyfriend, don't come down here this weekend. I would tell my girls, don't come over. I don't want company. I would tell Facebook people, do not call me, because I would just shut down. And Sunday night, I would say I get in the shower and get ready for my work week, go to work. But a couple of things with that, Stacy, is a couple of things that I'm asking God to help me with, because I may not have as much compassion for people who feel like they can't go through things. Like, say, for instance, someone may have a friend that's going through a divorce, or they're going through a divorce, and they come to work and they're broken and beat down and just can't do it and calling in. I struggle with the compassion piece there, because I feel like I had to suck it up and still come to work. I had
Yeah.
to give. And one thing that my manager, Dante Green, she will tell you, I came to work and I gave my best.
Yeah.
Even when I know every I'm coming to work and my daughter is dying, up until the day the hospice called and I had to leave work and didn't know when I was going back. So I need God to help me with that, because I am a very compassionate person. I feel and I love. So that's a piece I still need God to help me with that, because I'll be like, my daughter,
But dude,
the other piece is that I know God has called me to help others, right? Especially in this area. And I know I had that Facebook page, which helped a lot of people. And I know I still post about her. And I've started my book and haven't finished. So I need to finish the book before I die.
finish the book. And if
Say it.
you want, just to let you know, my aunt has written 2 books, and she used to be a flight attendant, and then she wrote a book about being in the hospital when my uncle had heart surgery.
Okay.
And they have a church, and she's a woman of God. So she's always like, she's one of those women who I look to for mentorship,
Mm-hmm.
especially when going through something. And I'm like, how do I get through it? She's like, I don't want to say her age, but she's older, but she's written 2 books. So you write that book,
Yes.
because that book, her first book, helped me through a lot of stuff. Your
Yeah.
book, it has a purpose.
I've had several people, and my 2 sisters, I still have 2 sisters. Well, I have 3 sisters that are still alive. Well, more than that. My dad have other children too.
Yeah.
But on my side, my 2 sisters are like, Lisa, you have to write the book. So, I just need to get off my butt and finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on you. Take that time, because that, not to repeat myself, but what you've went through has a purpose, and it's going to touch someone, and it's going to help someone, and it's going to help prepare someone.
Can I interrupt you?
Go
Uh,
ahead.
I can honestly say that has happened. Well, throughout, I've had a lot of people, inbox me, text me, whatever. I know some changes that have taken place in people's lives because of Yana's story. When you say it's going to prepare someone, that's something that had already taken place, because there were people in my life that have children that have now, and just some of the things that they have shared with me about how I dealt with some of Yana's journey has helped them. Not saying 100% of it, because there's probably things I could have done different, but I do know that her story, her journey has helped other people. I hate that I don't have my baby girl. I'm thankful because I know I'll get to see her again, but I'm thankful also that her life can touch, heal, and minister to other people.
Yeah. So, what is just one thing about her legacy you want everybody to know? Like, what's her legacy? What's the legacy that Yana leave this earth? You guys.
And this may not answer your question, but it's simply that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Even at the end, when she really couldn't move, it would take her probably 20 minutes just to get on the portable pot.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wanted to do it on her own. And she said, Mama, she would do it. She would like, the whole time, I can do all things through Christ. I can do all things through Christ. The whole time she's trying to even scoot over in the bed or to even raise herself up. Her words were, I can do all things through Christ. So that's the legacy, is that, I said, I wasn't even going to cry on this. I'm sorry. That's the legacy, is that there is nothing that we can't do. There's nothing too hard, as long as we trust in, lean on, and depend on God, that we can absolutely do all things through Christ. And sometimes when I find myself complaining about stuff, Stacy, I have to force myself to think back to Yana, who was suffering, not just in her body, not just the pain that she was going through, but it had to also mess with the mental, right? So I have to think back to that. This girl endured something that you have never even came close to enduring. So yes, we can do all things through Christ, no matter the challenge, no matter how hard, whether it's something relational, financial, spiritual, whatever it is, there's absolutely nothing that we can't do. And that's the thing that Yana left with us, is she can do all things through Christ. One of her songs, she went to the Beyonce concert, which was one of the things she told her surgeon before I died. She had already bought her tickets that June. The concert was in December, so that was the last big thing she got to do before she died. She went December the 9th to the concert. She passed December 19th. And she was determined that, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And even though the energy took her down, she still made it very clear that my foundation was God. I can do all things because of him. And that's what I really, really want to leave in her memory. So at the Beyonce concert, she was only disappointed because Beyonce didn't sing that song, I Was Here. I don't know if you know that song.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here I Came. I love that's my theme for Yana. Yana was, and she came, she loved all of that. She was here. Yeah. So
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing her
you're welcome.
with me and with us. Thank you for sharing that story. I just have a couple more questions about you.
Okay.
Because we talked about the girls, we talked about the daughters.
Yes.
What is it that you do for yourself? Self-care, self-love. What are the things that you do for yourself?
Probably nothing really major that anybody else would consider major, but I do shut down. I do take time to shut out the world, everybody, and I have my downtime, my personal time. I do like to journal. I do read. Something I do want to get back to. I had a beautician that had shared with me how she takes what she calls sabbaticals, and she shuts down. She said even if she's here in the city, she gets her a hotel for the weekend. She shuts down. She takes her Bible. She takes her journal. She takes her book down. And I did that a few years ago, and it was like so rewarding. It was so relaxing. So that's basically my self-care, is just shutting down and shutting the world out and chilling.
If there is anything that you would want to do on this earth, just the wildest thing ever, what is it? Anything. Just sing background for Patti LaBelle. That's my dream, but you know what I mean.
You know what I would love to do, and this is not for any because he fine or any whatever reason like that, but I would love to sit in the company of one LeBron James, because I think he's the GOAT, regardless of what anybody say.
Yeah.
But just his mind. I mean, you got this school that you've built for these children. You got this family, and just knowing that he knows how to build legacy. I would love to sit in his presence. Michelle Obama, for the same reason. I would just love to. I'm not they say the soft era girl. I feel like she kind of has this little softness. I've never had the softness. I've always been this little rough, little thug,
Yeah.
saved, sanctified
I'm gonna
thug.
thug it out.
But yeah, I would love to just spend a day like eating, chilling, talking. That's not wild, but that's something I would like to do.
I think she had to go into that song. I think with Michelle Obama, I think she probably had to more embrace that when she had to go into the presidency with Obama, because if she was to show what we know us as, Black women,
Yeah,
that kind of strength,
yeah,
is very scary.
yeah.
It's very intimidating. Yeah. So I think she had to start to embrace that. And it kind of carried on after the presidency as well. Because probably before, she was a lawyer,
Right. Yeah. So I think if she can embrace that and carry it out, I guess it's not too late. I'm about to be 57. I guess it's not too late for me, huh?
You better work that 57. You better work that 57. You look so good. There's nothing cracking there.
Oh, it is.
I know the body, not right.
It is.
I turned 50 last year, and
You look great.
I don't know what happened, but parts of my body just started hurting for no reason. 40, I thought it was like, okay, that's the ache. That's because I did this. I woke up one day and out of the blue just had a pain in my side. I was like, what?
You hear me?
It was in the heat pad, the liniment.
Trust me, I know.
But I'm embracing my 50s.
Yeah, I am too.
Well, I want to thank you again for taking your time with me to sit and talk about your daughters, talk about your experiences with Yana, her legacy, you. I appreciate this so much. I know it was hard at times, but I really do appreciate it.
Well, I feel honored that you even thought about me for this, right? I tell anybody I can talk about Yana and my girls. I have some amazing girls, I'm not gonna lie. But I can talk about Yana's story, all
Oh,
the time, why my book has to come out. I've considered podcasts, I considered, several avenues, but I do know the book has to come out. So thank you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Yeah, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And you go have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself
I will.
and
You do.
treat yourself.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.